Introduction and location. The house, designed by DP Arquitectos, is situated on the outskirts of Romeira, in Santarém. It seeks to establish its own unique identity within this location by creating an existential, humanized, and concrete space. This space is meaningful and purposeful, designed to be inhabited and to enhance visual alignments over the territory from both urban and landscape perspectives. Additionally, the house aims to serve as a possible visual reference within its surroundings. Access and privacy. Access to the house is intentionally indirect and concealed from the public road. Visitors must navigate around a small hill where the house is perched and then ascend alongside a preserved patch of holm oaks. This deliberate approach creates a sense of purposeful distance, providing privacy for everyday use and necessitating a journey of approximation. This pathway allows visitors to visually perceive the building before reaching the entrance, enhancing the overall experience of arrival. Design and structure. The design of the house features an aggregation of multiple spaces, each contained within its own volume and possessing a distinct identity and programmatic function. These spaces are defined by their different topological attributes and are either autonomous or interconnected. The concept of fragmentation is central to the design, with the whole being composed of a sum of smaller, independent elements. This approach integrates contemporary aesthetic and constructive aspects, creating a modern yet functional living environment. Visual and architectural impact. The house's design aims to reduce the apparent mass of the building by dematerializing it into different smaller volumes. This strategy not only diminishes the building's visual impact, but also enhances its integration with the surrounding landscape. The architecture reflects a heritage of formal themes inspired by the Portuguese rural landscape, particularly montes, traditional buildings positioned in dominant landscape locations, characterized by their informally arranged volumes. By drawing on these influences, the house achieves a balance between contemporary design and traditional elements, creating a space that is both visually striking and contextually harmonious. The house, designed by DP Arquitectos in Romeira, Santarém, seeks to create a meaningful and purposeful living space. It enhances visual alignments over the territory, serving as both a functional home and a potential visual landmark. The design emphasizes privacy and a gradual approach, with access hidden from the public road. Visitors must journey around a small hill and through a preserved patch of holm oaks before reaching the house, allowing for a gradual visual introduction to the building. The house is composed of multiple spaces contained within different volumes, each with its own identity and function. These spaces are either interconnected or autonomous, reflecting contemporary aesthetics and construction techniques. This approach of fragmentation diminishes the overall mass of the building, breaking it into smaller, distinct elements. The design draws inspiration from the Portuguese rural landscape, particularly montes, buildings that are placed in dominant landscape positions and consist of informally arranged volumes. By integrating these elements, DP Arquitectos creates a house that is both modern and rooted in the traditional Portuguese architectural heritage. The thoughtful organization of spaces and the use of landscape features ensure that the house is not only visually appealing, but also functional and respectful of its natural surroundings. The house, designed by DP Arquitectos, is situated on the outskirts of Romeira, in Santarém. This residence seeks to establish its own distinct presence in the landscape by constructing a meaningful and purposeful living environment. The design strategically enhances visual alignments across the territory, presenting both urban and landscape perspectives, while also positioning itself as a potential visual landmark. Access to the house is deliberately concealed, not direct from the public road. Visitors approach by circling a small hill where the house is located, ascending alongside a preserved patch of holm oaks. This intentional distance ensures privacy for everyday use and creates an engaging journey towards the home. The approach allows for a gradual visual encounter with the building before reaching the entrance, enhancing the anticipation and appreciation of the architecture. The house comprises multiple spaces contained within distinct volumes, each with its own identity and specific function. These spaces are defined by their unique topological attributes and are designed to either connect or stand alone, integrating contemporary aesthetic and construction methods. The design embraces the idea of fragmentation, breaking down the overall mass of the building into smaller, separate elements, which dematerializes the total volume and creates a more dynamic and interesting structure. Additionally, the design pays homage to the Portuguese rural landscape by incorporating formal themes inspired by traditional montes, buildings traditionally erected in dominant landscape positions. These structures consist of volumes informally arranged, echoing the spontaneous and functional layouts of rural architecture. This blend of contemporary design with traditional elements results in a residence that is both innovative and respectful of its cultural heritage. The house, designed by arquitectos, is located on the outskirts of Romeira, in Santarém. Its design aims to create a meaningful and purposeful living space that enhances visual alignments over the territory and serves as a potential visual reference. The house is not directly accessible from the public road. Instead, access involves a journey around a small hill and a preserved patch of holm oaks, providing privacy and allowing a gradual visual introduction to the building. The design of the house features multiple spaces contained within different volumes, each with its own identity and function. These spaces are connected or autonomous, reflecting contemporary aesthetics and construction techniques. This fragmentation of the whole building reduces its overall mass into smaller, distinct elements. The design also draws inspiration from the Portuguese rural landscape, particularly from buildings known as montes. These buildings are typically placed in dominant positions within the landscape and are formed by informally arranged volumes. The house by arquitectos values this heritage and incorporates similar themes, integrating them with modern design elements. The house designed by arquitectos is strategically located on the outskirts of Romeira, in Santarém, with a clear intent to establish a meaningful and purposeful living environment. The design emphasizes visual alignments that offer a unique urban and landscape perspective, positioning the house as a potential visual landmark. The approach to the house is deliberately indirect. It is not immediately accessible from the public road. Instead, the access route requires one to navigate around a small hill and a preserved patch of holm oaks. This design choice ensures privacy for the inhabitants and creates a deliberate journey towards the house, allowing visitors to gradually visually absorb the building before reaching the entrance. The architectural design is characterized by the aggregation of multiple spaces, each contained within its own volume, with distinct identities and functions. These volumes are defined by their unique topological attributes, which contribute to the overall composition of the house. The concept of fragmentation is central to the design, as it incorporates both autonomous and interconnected spaces that integrate contemporary aesthetic and construction techniques. This fragmentation effectively reduces the apparent mass of the building by breaking it down into smaller, distinct elements. Additionally, the design pays homage to certain formal themes inspired by the Portuguese rural landscape. It draws particular inspiration from montes, traditional buildings that are often situated in dominant landscape positions and formed by clusters of volumes arranged informally. By valuing these heritage elements, the design creates a modern interpretation that respects and echoes the traditional architectural forms found in the region.